Hello, my name is Dr. Talil Abrhiem, Professor in Organization Management, Human Resources Concentrations. I'm going to cover for you in this workshops about recruitings, selections, interviewings, and developing and training people. From human resource perspectives, as most of you know, that is the people we bring to our organizations or any organization, they're looking for the talent peoples, the people they have experience, the people they have educations, and they have the skills and the ability what they can do in the organization they're going to join. And also, as human resources, we look at the people who can they blend in the culture or our culture good with no problems, because if we don't bring the right person in the individual in the organization, we going to inherit problems. After that's when we have to deal with something else, so we don't want to go through that stage. Years ago, 3-4 years ago, they should tell us, by this individual background, how he or she doing in the organization. Now in these days, we have to figure it out. Who we have to bring in this organization. So when we bring the individual to the tables, we have to see what kind of product. We have to be a good listeners, and we, as you know, we keep the eye contact and we see what he or she doing for the organization. And according to that one, we can pick up the individual who fit for that job, for that firm or the organization. Let's start with the recruitings. Recruitings comes from different perspectives. They can come through the newspaper, through the internet, through they apply to the website directly, the individuals. And after that one, through selection process, they narrow it down, depends about the data we have. And if they apply, for example, like 50 people or 100 people, they narrow it down all the way to 20s. They do the background checks. After that one, probably from those 50, probably they invite 10 people. It depends. And that's when they invite those peoples. They're looking for people who match the job description for the organization. What I mean by that job description, if they meet the requirement concerning the education, concerning the experience, the ability to do the jobs, and other perspective, the histories of those applicants. As most of you know, the hiring, it depends about even internal recruitings or external recruitings. What I mean by internal recruiting is we hire from inside the box, inside the organization. We have the individuals or the candidates who reach the requirement for job description. They have the right to apply for that one, and we hire that one. If we cannot find the person inside the organization, that's the one we seek from outside, and they call it external recruitings. Either one has advantage and disadvantage. For example, for internal recruitings, it has the advantage to create motivations for the employees. Doesn't cost a lot because inside the organization we know the background also for those individuals. We know how blended with the teams. Externals also we're looking for some new bloods, what they're going to bring a new idea to the organization. So it depends about the skills and what we want to do from the HR perspectives. If the positions is apply for apply for example, like a cashiers or team leaders or shift supervisors. Sometimes the hiring managers, he or she do the job. As the position gets higher all the way to, I see, to the executives, more people they invite to the table. Some organization I see that human resources and managers, they come to the tables, and sometimes I see some organization they invite even the loss prevention there. It depends about the position and the pay they pay for those applicants, for that person. The question is, most of the people they're looking for a job. They work so hard, they got the degree, and they want to have the job. So what can I do? Sometimes they go so many places, and I try, and I'm going to give up. The question is not to give up or something. Just keep trying for the job. And what this, I'm going to tell you right now, what's the right way to apply for a job, and especially if you're selected for the interview. You have to have a good cover letters. Because see, looking for a job, you are a product, and you have to sell yourself to the organization. You have to tell them what's your skills, what's your talents, so they can bring, wow, this is a good individual, and let's bring them to the table to see what he can do or she can do. And the same thing in the resume. It has to have a good resume. For me, from my perspective, I want to see the objective of the individuals, the name, the email, correct email, correct phone numbers, and objective. And after that one, I want to see the educations. And after the education, I want to see the histories of that individual where is working, and the description for each job he or she had been holding through their life or their careers. I want to see if they have any kind of skills that they have to add in training and anything they did, or seminars or presentations. And after that one, I want to see also the references on that page. And the references, I want to see also the name, the phone numbers, and the email address. So that's from, and also if you have an official transcript, that's be great. And if you have recommendation, that's a plus. So after, when you come to the, right now after we did the recruiting, we came the selection process. Now we invite that individual after they check their background, he or she, their background, and scheme, everything is good, ready to go. We move to the next step. We invite those individuals to the table. I like to see the individual comes in time, at least like 10-15 minutes. And I see some people, they come late. You can't tell me this is right there is a negative. So try to come early to the interview, prepare yourself with all kind of document. If some kind of interview, they have panel interviews, like 2 or 3 people. So try to make sure files for each individuals for the same document I said it in the beginning. You sit in the tables, and the way you dress also is appropriate for that job. It's he or she, the same things for that job. And after that one, the interview process, it has structured interview or unstructured interview, or sometimes I see semi, between these two. What I mean structured interview, we ask the same questions what we ask this applicant, we ask the same questions for another one from the furnace perspectives. I see this one is, most of the organization, they do that one. And as a structured interview, we can ask about scenario and we go from there. And semi is between structure and structure, like what I said. And from the HR, always we looking at, beside the experience this individual has, or she has, what can they bring to the table. I want to see also what he can do for this organization, what they can do something different or unique. Because we love to see idea. And from the applicant perspective also, you have to know the history of the organization too. Know your numbers. Because it's good, make the applicant is great. Because remember, try to sell yourself as a product. And after we try to get, we as a HR, we are a good listener for that individual. Want to see what's from that individual, what that applicant did. And after that's when we reach our decision if this applicant is fit for our organization. After the interview is done and we'll try to make our decision, probably depends about the need of that individual. Like probably sometimes a week, 10 days. After the hiring process is done and the offer letters been accepted by the applicants, the next steps is the hiring. So the individuals come and start the job. Sometimes we have to go through training and developing for that individual. Sometimes we assign a mentor for that individual also. Sometimes I see beside the training we offer some kind of modulars, like 6 weeks modular or 7 weeks modulars, and they have to follow every steps, and we have to sign off on, the manager has to sign off on each modulars and keep going till it's done. We'll be ready to go. We cannot just come in, we hire that individual and we can put him right away there. It doesn't work like that. It has to be hiring and training and developing. And also it has to have, also sometimes you do a training through the computers concerning ethics, concerning sexual harassment and everything. All these things he has to do with the applicant for all these things. Again, I want to remind you, just came up to my mind through the hiring departments, through the interview, we don't discriminate against any kind of sex, gender, age, religions, sexual orientation. Everything is going to be the same from different perspectives. What we're looking for, individual who meet the criteria for the job descriptions, who can do the jobs with reaching the qualification, education, experience, ability to do the job. And according to that one, we'll see which one is available for that job. And this is with modern technology right now, and with so many people applying for a job. So we have to make sure we pick up the talented peoples, what they can do for the job. As you know, right now we are in 2014, probably 3 years from now, 4 years from now, most of the organization, they're going to look at person who has 2 degrees, bachelor degree, master degree. They're going to look also for person who speaks at least 2 languages. They're going to look also for the people who has experience globally. So all these things, you have to equip yourself as you move it, because change is very important. This change is you about yourself, what you can do as a product. So try all the times, update yourself as a product. And you can apply for the job is fit, because as you remember, the sky is your limit. So the job is very important for any organization. As you working in the cultures, you start to creating the people you know there, and the motivation is very important, and self-esteem, and work as a team together. Because as you working as a team, that's what the success for any organization. What I mean by success for any organization, become a healthy organization. Because the people who work together, they play together in the same organization, they can reach the profitability for the organization, and they can reach the competitive advantage and make the organization the right way. I want to say thank you for listening, and have a beautiful day.